Lesson 33. So let's lie down and take a few moments to feel the weight on the floor. We're gonna be coming back to the shoulders for these lessons, but we're gonna come in a more subtle way than we have done until now. So what I want you to do is just for a few breaths allow your body to relax on the floor, and can you feel which shoulder blade is heavier and which shoulder blade feels wider? And as you do now, pay attention to your shoulder blades. Can you begin to gently roll your head, just slow movements to the right and to the left? And as your head is turning, can you notice now if there is a change in weight from one shoulder blade to the other? Now, what we're looking for is a very, very small differentiation. And it's a bit counterintuitive, but making a smaller movement with the head might produce more sensation. So try to make the rolling of the head as effortless as possible. And feel if you can follow the turning of the head down your spine, and feel if there is a shifting of weight from one shoulder blade to the other. And let that go. And now bring your fingers to your eyelids. And can you gently slide your eyelids? Can you feel how much pressure your fingertip is using in order to slide the eyelid over the eyeball? So there is absolutely no pressure on the eyeball. This is the amount of pressure we're looking for in our shoulder blades today. So this very, very gentle and soft touch that you have now from your fingertips to your eyelids, this is what we'll be looking of doing with our shoulder blades. So let your arms down and again begin to roll your head from side to side. But now, as your head turns to the right, can you think of gently pressing your right shoulder blade onto the ground, no more than your finger touched your eyelid? So it's a very small beginning of a movement. It's a very small pressure you apply from your shoulder blade to the floor. And touching with your fingers as softly is very easy because you're used to this fine differentiation and this fine movement in your fingers. But with the shoulder blade, it can be a bit more tricky to make this soft and small movement of gently pressing the right shoulder blade on the floor as your head turns to the right. And can you keep now this gentle pressure steady in your right shoulder blade as your head turns to the right and as your head turns to the left? So you keep pressuring the right shoulder as you turn your head. And can you feel what happens between your shoulder blades and to the sensation in your neck? And let it go, let the shoulder go, allow only the head to roll and feel what changed. And then could you find the same movement in the other side? So now every time you roll your head to the left, you gently pressure down your left shoulder blade, just as much as your fingertip was pressing your eyeball, not more. Every time the head rolls to the left, you find this gentle pressuring motion and then you release it as your head turns to the right. And feel if this side is easier or more difficult. The sensation in your neck as you do that, in the left and the right side of your neck. And your jaw and your face, are you using unnecessary tension for this? And the next time you turn your head to the left, could you keep pressing your left shoulder blade gently into the ground as you roll your head from side to side? So now this pressure on your left shoulder blade stays there as you continue to roll, and you feel the sensations in your neck and your breath. Can you keep the movement soft? Can you keep your breath soft? And let it go. Release your left shoulder blade, and just for a few more times, can you turn your head and feel the sensations in the back of your neck and your shoulders, and how does the weight shift now from one shoulder blade to the other? And let it go and have a rest here. Just feeling the sensation in your right and your left shoulder blade. As you lie down, can you feel their weight? Now lift your arms up overhead. And can you find a place on the floor where your arms can come down and just frame your head? So they don't need to be close to your ears, just a place where it's comfortable to keep your hands over your head. And stay there now and sense your shoulder blades. And can you again begin to roll your head from one side to the other? And as you do, can you feel the weight that's shifting to the left and the right shoulder blade? And is the sensation clearer now that your hands are framing your head? And how is the sensation in your neck? Very nice. And let your arms down. Feel the way your shoulder blades touch the ground now. And now bend your right knee, stand your right foot. Begin to press through your right foot now, so you gently roll your weight from the right hip to the left, from the right side of the ribs to the left, from the right side of the body to the left shoulder blade. But again, what you're looking for is this minimal movement of sliding your fingertips over your eyelids. So you don't need to raise your right hip. Just begin pressing through the foot, finding this chain reaction of movement from the ankle to the knee to the hip, and how it gently rolls the weight of your pelvis. And as the pelvis rolls to the left, can you feel this shifting movement in your shoulder blades? So what we were doing with our head, this sliding of weight from one shoulder to the other, we're trying to find it now from our foot. Just find this diagonal motion, and you have to allow your body to roll in this micro movement and sense. Can you feel your lower back rolling a bit? And can you feel your weight rolling all along the left side of your ribs? Can you find the placement for your foot where the movement becomes easy and the diagonal becomes clear? Can you feel the path of the weight from your hip, from your right hip, traveling diagonally up your back? And really now for a few moments, pay attention to the quality of the rolling, to the quality of the movement. How easy is it for you to feel this transfer of movement from the hip to the shoulder? Not only on your shoulder blades as it presses down a bit more, but all along the path through the vertebrae and the ribs. This twisting motion of your torso, of your rib cage now. How easy is your body changing shape? Is your body twisting? Is it sliding easily into this new position? How are you using your breath? Is it more comfortable for you to roll to the side on an inhale or to roll to the side, your weight up your back with the exhale? Try it a few movements this way and that. And let it go and have a rest. Legs long to observe your back. And then for a few breaths, just to rest your attention. Very nice. And let's change sides. So now you bend your left knee, you stand your left foot. You find this very gentle micro movement of pressing through the left foot to allow the weight to roll your pelvis to the right. And as your pelvis rolls, you follow the path of the weight up your spine. Find this perfect placement now for your left foot, where you can feel that you're not rolling to the side, but as your foot presses, you can feel that you're rolling your weight diagonally up your back from the left foot to the left hip, and you roll up your spine to bring the weight towards the right shoulder blade. And you feel the rolling motion of your lower back and how you roll all over the length of your right ribs. And can you sense now the quality of this movement? Is this path clearer, easier, more familiar, or is it strange and unusual? Where does the preference lie for your rib cage? Do you prefer twisting this way Or was it easier twisting the other way? How is your breath? How can you use your breath to roll a bit easier now? Can you clearly find a preference, a side where you feel that the weight was rolling towards the shoulder blade uninterruptedly? And let it go and have a rest, legs long. Take a moment to feel your shape on the floor, to feel your print. And we will be now choosing a side to begin with. So you want to choose the side, you want to choose the diagonal that didn't roll with the same quality of ease. So you bend your knee now. The knee you need to roll to your non-preferred side. So if you want to roll towards your left shoulder blade, you will bend your right knee. And if you want to prefer rolling from the left hip to the right shoulder blade, you will bend your left knee. And with the leg bend, can you begin again pressing through the opposite foot, rolling the weight diagonally from your hip to your shoulder blade, finding this path that is not as clear as the other side. And now, could you think of finding the previous movement we did, this gentle pressing of the shoulder blade? So now, as you press your foot and you feel the movement coming up from your pelvis to your spine to your shoulder blade, can you gently press, actively press your shoulder blade back? No more than you would press an eyeball. But you find this way to continue the movement that begins in your foot and engage your rib cage actively into this movement. So you're synchronizing the movement throughout the body. And can you feel if you want to inhale in order to do this movement, or if exhaling will allow you to press down with your shoulder blade a bit more gently? And continue to roll, clearing up this path, finding the timing for your foot, your hip, and your shoulder blade. And now raise your hand, only the hand you've been pressing on, raise your hand vertically. So it's vertically towards the ceiling. It's not overhead yet. It's vertically towards the ceiling. The arm you've been working with, and you continue to press. And as you press through the foot, roll the shoulder blade, find the diagonal, press back your shoulder blade, this time with the hand standing, erect, vertical. And feel, how is this movement for your shoulders and for your ribs? How is the movement different now that your hand is standing? So nothing else needs to change for you in this movement. You've only changed the position of your hand to sense what happens to the shoulder blade. And can you gently exhale as you roll back and press your shoulder blade? Is it a bit easier? Is it a bit clearer when your hand is vertical, when your arm is vertical to press back? But can you do it softly again? And then for a few breaths, bring your arm over your head somewhere on the floor and continue this rolling motion of pressing through the foot, rolling the pelvis, feeling the path of the weight coming up, and sense how it is for you now to gently pressure down with your shoulder blade. Again, as soft as if you were pressing an eyeball, soft and gentle, and feel what happens to your neck and the back of your neck and your jaw and your face. And as you continue to do this movement now, can you allow your head to turn to the right? And with your head turned to the right, just for a few moves, can you continue rolling the weight from your hip to your shoulder and sense what happens when your head is rolled to the right? And then for a few moves, turn your head to the left and see what happens when you roll your weight like that and your head is turned to the left. Where does the preference of the neck lies? Which side can you face and feel that the movement becomes easier or more difficult when you're looking at your arm or when you're looking the other way? And then let your arm down again by your side for a few more moves. Continue to roll your weight like this from your hip to your shoulder. Can you feel the movement clearer now? Even if you allow now your shoulder blade to stay quiet, to stop using this active movement and just use your foot to roll your weight. Has the path been cleared? And let it go and have a rest, legs long. Can you feel your shape? Can you feel your contact with the floor, the left and the right shoulder blade, the ribs and the low back? Has your shape changed a bit now? Does it feel different now that you worked one diagonal? Can you turn your head, just your head now, and feel what happens when you turn to the left side and what happens when you turn to the right side? Can you sense the rolling of the head a bit clearer as the changing weight in your shoulder blades? Can you feel the movement of the head clearer? And then bend your right knee. Press down through your right foot, roll the weight to the left shoulder blade, and when you find the left shoulder blade, press it down, stay there, and keep the pressing of the left shoulder blade steady as you roll your pelvis back down. So now the pressure on the left shoulder blade is steady, and you're lifting and lowering your right hip, you're rolling your pelvis to the left and back to center, but trying to keep this gentle pressure of the left shoulder blade steady. Hmm. Can you do it? Can you keep this gentle pressure steady as your pelvis rocks? How is this for your neck, for your breath, for your attention? And can you change sides now? So now you bend the right knee, you extend the left leg, and you find the other diagonal. So now it's the left knee that bends. You roll your weight towards your left shoulder blade. You press down the right shoulder blade, excuse me. So you press down the left leg, rolling to the right shoulder blade. You stay with the right shoulder blade pressing back as you roll your pelvis to one side and the other. And feel how it is to continuously pressure the right shoulder blade. Very nice. And both legs long and have a rest. Have a breath. And both knees bent. And press through the right foot to roll to the left shoulder blade, and press then through the left foot to roll to the right. And you play now through these two diagonals clearly, finding the path the weight takes from one side to the other, finding the diagonals from the hip to the shoulder blades. Very nice. And can you feel a hint of the movement in your head? Does it feel like your nose wants to follow? Very nice. And lift your arms and place them overhead and continue to roll. Feel how it is to roll your weight from your hip to the shoulder blade with your hands up now and around your head, up and overhead on the floor, overhead on the floor. Yep. Very nice. And let it go. Have your legs long. Can you roll your head a bit? Can you feel how the rolling of the head shifts the weight from one shoulder blade to the other, but also now how far down your spine can you feel it? Can you also feel it in your ribs? Maybe even your hips. Very nice. And let your arms down and continue just to easily roll the head. Small and easy, trying to find if you can feel the movement reverberate now down your spine. Quietly and easily listen in. Can you feel it as a rolling movement of your ribs? Can you feel the movement of your head as a rolling of the weight in your sacrum, maybe? And let it go and have a breath here. Can you feel your breath clearer now in your shoulder blades and your ribs? Can you feel your body more elastic? Take a few moments here to enjoy the sensation of your breath and the support of the floor. Feeling your shape. And when you're ready, you can come from lying to sitting and from sitting to standing. And take a few moments to feel your back and your shoulders and have a walk around the room. And as you do, can you observe the sensation in the shoulder blades? And what is the connection between one hip and the opposite shoulder blade? Can you continue to feel the diagonal as you walk?